Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. I am Sharon Green Middleton, Vice President of the City Council, representative for the 6th Council District, and Chairperson for the Economic and Community Development Committee. This afternoon, we will hear the following bills: 23-0366, zoning, conditional use of a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district, which is 2001 Boone Street. 23-0386, landmark list, home of the Friendless. And 23-0429, South Baltimore Gateway Community Impact District Management Authority, Board of Directors. 2 additional bills that were scheduled for today have been postponed pending rescheduling, and that's 23-0439, zoning variance, side yard 6709 Western Run Drive, and 23-0350, rezoning 420 North Haven Street. Also, bill number 22-0290, South Baltimore Gateway Community Impact District Management Authority Board of Directors term limits, has been withdrawn by the sponsor. And in attendance today, we have the members of the committee: John Bullock of the 9th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mark Conway of the 4th District has an excused absence. Ryan Dorsey of the 3rd District.
An excused presence, thank you.
And Antonio Glover of the 13th District is absent. And we have Odette Ramos of the 14th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And Robert Stokes of the 12th District. So we do have a quorum, and we also have Council Member Felicia Porter of the 10th District here with her bill.
Thank you, Madam.
We have representatives from the Office of the President. I see Dexter Lockamy, Director of Finance and Budget. Oh, Dwayne. Why do I continue to do this? I go down the list of names. We have Dwayne. What's his last name? Adams. And we also have Tiffany Macklin, Deputy Director of Legislation. And we have a representative from the Office of the Mayor, and I see Dominic McAlley with Government Relations. And so let's begin. Bill number 23-0366, zoning, conditional use of a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district, 2001 Boone Street, for the purpose of permitting, subject to certain conditions, the conversion of a single-family dwelling unit to 2 dwelling units in the R8 zoning district on the property known as 2001 Boone Street, Block 4017, Lot 048, as outlined in red on the accompanying plat, and providing for a special effective date. This bill was introduced on March 13th, 2023, and the bill sponsor is Councilmember Stokes. Councilmember Stokes, would you like to make comments?
I truly support it. Thank you.
Thank you. The committee will now hear from agency representatives. We'll start with the City Solicitor's Office.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Michelle Toth on behalf of the City Solicitor, and we stand by our bill report approving for form and legal sufficiency.
Thank you for your approval for form and legal sufficiency. Next, the Planning Commission.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Eric Tissot here for my colleague Martin French, who's staffing the BMZA this afternoon. The Planning Commission reviewed this in their meeting of June 8th, and they recommend approval. We believe all of the bulk requirements are met, and the required findings are outlined in our staff report for your consideration.
Thank you. Any questions to the Commission from the committee? Hearing none. Housing and Community Development.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the committee, Stephanie Murdoch, Director of Legislative Services for DHCD. We believe that the conditional use conversion may provide for the reuse of the structure and expand residential rental opportunities for area residents. The property currently has an active vacant building notice, so the owner would need to obtain a use and occupancy permit to utilize the property for the dwelling units under discussion. The property is not located, the property is located within our DHCD East Impact Investment Area and a community development zone. We feel it's unlikely that the proposed multifamily use would impair present or future development, and we stand by our bill report in support of the passage of this bill.
Thank you, Stephanie. Transportation Department.
Madam Chair, Liam Davis, Baltimore City Department of Transportation. We stand by our bill report, which is no objection. I will acknowledge that the property is located within half mile of Penn Station, so adding housing near transit reflects national best practices, so just wanted to add that caveat.
Thank you. Parking Authority.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Christmas Age from the Parking Authority. We stand by our bill report, which is not opposed.
Thank you. Baltimore Development Corporation.
Madam Chair, the BDC stands by its report. The report is favorable.
Thank you. Board of Municipal and Zoning Appeals.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Dominic McLilly, Mayor's Office of Government Relations. The BMZA stands by their report.
Thank you. And the Fire Department.
Fire also stands by their report.
Thank you. And that they're both non-opposed.
Right, that's correct.
Any responses from committee members thus far? Hearing none, we're checking for public testimony on this bill. And do we have any people that signed up? Okay. So there is someone online that's asking, is this meeting still happening? But they don't say which one. So I'll just quickly repeat the ones that were postponed earlier to reschedule and the one that has been withdrawn. So Bill number 23-0439, zoning variance side yard of 6709 West Run Drive will be rescheduled, and 23-0350 rezoning 420 North Haven Street will be rescheduled, and Bill number 22-0290, the South Baltimore Gateway Community Impact District Management Authority has been withdrawn by the sponsor. And that was basically withdrawn because we have a bill that is going to be heard that is similar and is just adding another piece to it. So do we have any online? We have no online. And do we have any phone callers? And no phone callers on this bill. Is there a motion to recommend the bill favorable?
So moved.
So moved by Stokes, second by Ramos. Chair Middleton is a yes. Bullock is a yes. Conway absent. Dorsey is a yes. Glover absent. Ramos is a yes. And Stokes is a yes. This bill will move to second reader at the next council meeting. And the next bill we will hear is Bill number 23-0386, Landmark List, Home of the Friendless, for the purpose of designating the Home of the Friendless, which is 1313 Druid Hill Avenue, as an historical landmark, exterior, and providing for a special effective date. This bill was introduced on May 15th, 2023. The bill's sponsor is Council Member, is that Costello? Costello. And we will start with agency reports, and we'll start with the City Solicitor's Office.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We approved this bill for form and legal sufficiency, but the bill proposed to add Section 18A-3 to the city code, and I believe that has already been added by Ordinance 23-222, which designates the Baltimore City Engine Company 14 Firehouse as a landmark exterior. So it just needs to be worked out with legislative reference what is the proper numbering for the bill.
Okay. So we need to get that completed before it goes to second reader. Is that okay? We don't have to put in an amendment for that, do we? Or they just? Okay. Gotcha. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. The Planning Commission.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lauren Chizik, representing the Planning Department. The Planning Commission. The Planning Commission stands by their report, recommending approval.
Thank you. Any questions on this bill from the to the Planning Commission? Hearing none. Moving on to the Baltimore Development Corporation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Micah Fetz for the Baltimore Development Corporation. BDC stands by its report. The report is favorable.
Thank you. And BMZA?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Dominic McLilly, Mayor's Office of Government Relations. The BMZA doesn't have a comment on this bill for this one, so they're going to stand by that report.
Gotcha. CHAPS.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lauren Chizik, representing CHAP. CHAP submitted our report recommending recommending approval of this designation. I think just a couple comments because, we cover history. This property has played an important role in social services in West Baltimore since it was originally built for an institution for orphaned and abandoned white boys. But more importantly, I think, is the fact that it was the first public health center for Black citizens in the city, starting in the 1930s. And I think that its original history sometimes overshadows that second use that is far more important. And the Commission very much wants to thank DHCD for everything that they have done in terms of investment and stabilization in this building. I know they've had a lot of difficulty trying to sell the building to be, actively used again. And they have put a lot of money and effort and time into ensuring its future success and continue to serve the West Baltimore community that it has been standing in for over 100 years. So thank you.
Thank you. Preserving our history is very important. Housing and Community Development.
Thank you again, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Stephanie Murdoch, Director of Legislative Services for DHCD. As CHAP highlighted in their report, this is a property of significant historic resource to the Old West Baltimore community. And DHCD has undertaken significant stabilization of the property, over $2 million in federal, state, and local funds to help stabilize the property, with the goal of then putting this property back out for redevelopment. So we stand here today in favor of the passage of this bill, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. And just to add, preserving our history, especially that's not being taught in our public school system, is so important. Are there any comments from the committee at this point? And Councilwoman Ramos, question?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is there currently interest in, Ms. Murdoch, is there currently interest in the building? Is that why we're designating it historic, or simply to preserve the space? Either way is fine, I'm just curious.
Yes, the stabilization should be complete by the end of this year, and the purpose of the landmark protection is to assure that we see the right outcomes for the property when it does go out for bid. So we're looking in the very near future for that.
Okay, great, thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The committee will now take public testimony, and there is no in-person public testimony. We're checking online. There is no one online, and we're also checking for phone calls, and there is no phone calls. So is there a motion to recommend this bill favorable? So moved by Councilman Bullock and second by Councilwoman Ramos. Chair Middleton, yes. Bullock?
Yes.
Is a yes. Conway absent. Dorsey?
Yes.
Is a yes. Glover absent. Ramos?
Yes.
Is a yes. Stokes? Yes. Is a yes. This bill will now move to second reader. The next, the committee will hear Bill number 23-0429, South Baltimore Gateway Community Impact District Management Authority Board of Directors, for the purpose of altering certain membership requirements for the Board of Directors for the South Baltimore Gateway Community Impact District Management Authority, amending certain term limits for certain members of the Board of Directors, and providing for a special effective date. This bill was introduced on September 18th, 2023. The bill's sponsor, Councilmember Porter. Comments from the sponsor?
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Chair. I just wanted to highlight that this bill, again, would really solidify the City Council President appointing members, particularly the 2 council members that serve over the South Baltimore Gateway Impact Investment Area, Councilman Costello in District 11 and my office in District 10. And this would provide us with an opportunity to serve as ex officio members outside of the normal term limits, as stated in the bylaws.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions from the committee to Councilwoman Porter? And hearing none, we'll take agency reports, and we'll start with the City Solicitor's Office.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jeff Hochstetler with the Solicitor's Office. We stand by our report and, with the minor amendment, approve the bill for forming legal sufficiency.
Okay. What is that amendment?
Yeah, the amendment, so the term limit restriction referenced a definition of an elected official in the ethics law, which is very overbroad for purposes of this bill. I believe the purpose of this bill was to restrict basically to say that the term limits don't apply to the 2 council members. So instead of referencing that ethics code sort of erroneous definition, the proposed amendment just says the term limits don't apply to those 2 council members.
So we have not received that amendment in writing, have we?
It's attached to the law's report.
It's in the total report. Okay. Good, very good. Any questions about the amendment? Hearing none, thank you. Department of Finance.
Gabriel Stewart Sykowitz here for the Department of Finance. We do not oppose this legislation, and we do not expect there to be any fiscal impact.
Thank you. And Housing and Community Development.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the committee, Stephanie Murdoch, Director of Legislative Services for DHCD. Altering the membership requirements related to elected officials serving on the board and amending their term limits will allow the appropriate representation of the Baltimore City Council to continue the work of the authority to provide programs and enhance public safety, cleanliness, streetscaping, beautification, and other activities in the district. We stand by our bill report. We do not object to the passage of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions to Stephanie on this bill? Hearing none, we're checking to see if there's any in-person. There's no in-person testimony. Checking for online hands raised, and we see no hands raised. Any phone callers? No phone callers. Any last questions or comments from committee members? So first, is there a motion to move the amendment?
So moved.
Second. Committee member has the second. Second. So moved by Ramos, thank you, and second by Stokes. Chair Middleton is a yes. Bullock?
Yes.
Is a yes. Conway absent. Dorsey?
Yes.
Is a yes. Glover absent. Ramos?
Yes.
Is a yes. And Stokes? Is a yes. And now, is there a motion to recommend the bill favorable as amended?
Second.
So moved by Stokes, second by Ramos. Chair Middleton, yes. Bullock? Yes. Dorsey? Is a yes. Ramos?
Yes.
Is a yes. Stokes? Is a yes, and this bill will move to second reader at the next council meeting. And I just want to quickly have an opportunity to salute our veterans this week. As we celebrate Veterans Day, they're all activities you can participate in throughout the whole week, and we don't do enough for our veterans, so strong salute to our veterans this week, and thank you. And the committee now stands adjourned.